Well, Nasty Nathan, we spent a lot of time together, but we haven't since Ohio sat down and done a pod.
That was the Route 62 indoor race.
Yeah.
Which was quite a while ago.
Yeah. I mean, it was just November.
Yeah, I don't even
all
remember.
the time. You know, we talk about doing this all the time, and then we just get busy, and it's hard to stay on schedule. We're trying our best to stay on schedule for everybody every single 2 weeks on Wednesday, but I'm pretty sure it's Wednesday right now, and we're recording this, so that's not going to happen
We
this
could
week.
put this out today if we really wanted.
I don't think it's that important. We don't really have anything great to say. All right, real quick, if you guys are watching, listening to the Gear Shed podcast, we appreciate you. This is all a product of Electrix Moto and everything that we do there. We would love to offer you guys a discount for anything that you buy through us. We will put a discount code in the description or the show notes so you can take a look, browse the stuff, buy what you want, and spending money with us is always greatly appreciated, but we want you to get what you want, and if that's somewhere else, that's fine too.
Yeah, and we have a deal right now. Uncle Sam is the code, $150 off parts if you buy a bike worth more than $3,500.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is sweet. Get yourself some pegs or clamps or whatever you want.
Save yourself some money. That's what it's about, honey. All right, here we go. So we wanted to break this down into 4 segments, but I don't think it's actually going to happen. We're going to start with the one that I think is the most important because there's a lot of stuff that's happened since the last time we spoke.
Well, I mean, we're in Tucson right now.
Yeah, we're in Arizona right now
in
our shop, and that's a huge development for us. If you guys are in the Southern Arizona area or even from Phoenix and you guys just want to come down and not necessarily check out stuff because you could probably check it out up there, but see what we're doing here, you're welcome to do that. So we have that. We have the AIM Expo that we still haven't even talked about and all the bikes that we saw there. So I think, well, let's just go through the year starting there because the AIM Expo, that's the second year I had been there. It's the first time you had ever been there.
Yep.
Give me your impression of that place because there was a lot going on. There was a lot of stuff happening. We saw a lot of really cool bikes. Not a ton of new stuff, but the new stuff for 2026 is all the big bike world.
I mean, quite a few new things though. And I mean, even just like gear and stuff like that, right? Like I have an interest in EVS gear and their lineup there. I was like, dude, when's that going to hit the market? Because I've been keeping an eye on it. So yeah, a lot of different things that have been coming out.
Has that hit? I've been looking for it.
No, I really wanted to because it's awesome.
That.
It's purple.
Yeah, I know.
Which is sick. And it's more,
Exactly.
It's a better feel than, I probably will just like keep what I have because it's really not that much different. And my stuff's already scratched up from like landing on rocks anyway. But anyway, yeah, the point is like there's so many different things, you know, like you can see what's new in Pro Taper. Obviously in the e-moto world, Dust made an appearance, a light appearance, not like a Benell type level experience.
Yeah.
That was pretty big. Benell's launch was pretty crazy. Good to see Cirrus there as always. Charged had a tent there. A lot of different bikes. I mean, what else was like really big bikes wise other than Benell and like Dust making an appearance?
I mean, the Torque was there, which I think was kind of a disruptor in the like e-moto
for
space.
Sure, they had a good setup right behind there.
We can definitely like kind of dive into a little bit about that bike.
Other bikes too that other people have on their radar that we don't necessarily. More like hunting kind of focused.
Yeah,
bikes
there was a lot of
out.
interesting. Like, there's a lot of products out there that are coming for the e-moto space or just electric dirt bike space in general,
and even like side by sides and stuff like that. There are a lot of things there.
Yeah, there was a lot. So I think, you know, obviously the big splash that in my opinion, that is this year is Benell. That's going to be the bike that
this week is big for them too. This is Daytona week.
This is the Daytona week,
which we would have been there, but things came up.
Life happens, and we're not able to make it down to Daytona. But that is going to be an interesting concept for everyone. Obviously, we all understand the bike, and well, maybe people don't, right? So we have the 805. That is, what is the horsepower supposed to be of that bike?
I think it's like 56.
So think about that.
It's a lot of power.
That is a stupid.
More than you need. And it's smaller than an Ultra B.
Yeah, well,
technically.
We took the Ultra B to the dyno, right? We put it on 65 horsepower, and that is the scariest sound I've ever heard.
And who knows? Like, is it actually 56 on a dyno?
Probably not.
Because
Probably
like
not.
our 100 horsepower thing was not.
Right.
So, but still, it's going to be a ridiculous amount of power. Whatever you want to do with that bike, you can do. And I think it's going to be a cool size because it's going to be really nimble. Yes, it's a little smaller than an Ultra B, but I don't think like that should like keep Ultra B riders away from wanting to have that.
Right.
It's also, because it's that size, it's probably going to have a 16-19 option as well. If if you want to do like super mini stuff, I bet it's going to come with that.
You think?
Not like as
Not
the standard,
today,
but
right.
like as an option, yeah. But like wheel sizes will be that. Because I mean, think about it, like the RFN. That's a tall bike.
Yeah,
and
it
if
is.
that thing can come with 1619 too,
Well, that-
absolutely. I think
yeah.
the 805 is probably going to.
That would make sense because then you basically have two bikes, but you only have one.
It's small
You're
enough
serving
to do
two
it.
markets.
Yeah, it's small
Yeah.
enough to do it. I think it makes sense.
Well, I mean, I was watching, I don't know if you saw any of the reels and stuff that Max had been posting from his testing down in Daytona. And I mean, he rides everything like a mountain bike, so it's really no surprise there. But
Yeah.
it'll be interesting to see how that bike holds up in like true off-road endurance style racing.
Yeah.
You know, testing is really important, and I think a lot of companies probably
I think
don't
that's
do
what this
enough
all
of.
is, though.
Yeah, like
This is all prototype testing, which is pretty sweet. That
which
they have
is
like
exactly
very legit riders on their bikes.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm wondering though why I'm hopeful that they will get into some races this year because I mean Travis said that best when we were talking with him. Like, there's really no testing like a race scenario.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that is when you really because nobody's going as hard as they are in a race ever.
Yeah.
You know, as much as you may think you are, you're not getting pushed by somebody behind you.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
You're not trying to catch somebody in front of you.
I think that's their plan. I mean, honestly. And
Well, I hope
they're
they
covering
do.
all their bases. I mean, you have Max going to shred that bike up on enduro
Literally.
cross stuff, and it's going to like point out if anything's weak. Same with Brett. Brett's
So-
going to be doing a different kind of racing. Brett's more speed
Yeah.
stuff. Max
Yeah.
is more like technical, abusive kind of riding.
So what do you
Dude.
think? Because my assumption is the Bonnell's going to be out. The 805 at least will be available for purchase prior to TKO.
Yeah,
Do
I
you
would assume.
think we see several transitions from Ultra B
That's a good
to
question.
805 in that series or in that specific race? Because I think it's August or late July,
I think
early
it's July.
August.
Yeah,
Is it?
I think
Okay.
it's July.
So it's towards the back half of the summer.
Maybe it's also kind of tough, right? Like Max and Brett are obviously going to have a lot of time on those bikes before that comes.
Right.
Brett's probably not even racing that race. It's probably going to be Max on it.
Right.
They're going to have a lot of time on the bike, whereas a lot of other people, me included, like yeah, like that bike's going to be available to me, but like I don't know if I need to move to that right now after I've spent a year and a half getting comfortable in an Ultra B that's already set up for me.
Yeah, for sure.
So maybe I think that's yes, we're probably going to see a few people do it because they're ready to do it and they're just going to take it out there because there are guys who are out there like that Joey guy was out on like an OEM Ultra B just because like
because he had
like Seth
one.
gave him one for the day.
Yeah.
You know, so I think we're going to see people who are doing that, but I think we're also going to still see Ultra Bs this year because they're tried and true. People are already built out with them. Probably a lot of people also are just kind of like, I've been abusing the Ultra Bs, so do I really want to just take a brand new bike out and beat the piss out of it and like have
Right.
it be wrecked?
So
So I don't know.
I
That's my hot take on it.
well, and I think that's right. I think that's right. You have the new bike. Is who's going to feel comfortable going out there and putting a brand new bike against the bikes that have been tried and true? Do we think? I just don't know if I have that much confidence in anything over the Ultra B. And I think that's
Yeah.
probably where a lot of people will settle. Is like, do we really want to risk it? I don't know.
Well,
It'll be
there are
cool.
other bikes that are already in it. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like realistically, the Stark won it this year.
Yeah,
And yes, it's Eddie Carlson.
yeah, of course.
So yeah, I just think it doesn't totally matter. I mean, it's a rider thing.
Yeah,
I mean, Dustin was ripping on like the Zero.
he's so fast though.
Yeah, the unassuming ripper.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just think whatever. Someone's going to be on it. Someone's going to do really well on it. Obviously, Max is going to be one of those
Yeah.
people. Yeah, but I think the real question is like, is the Ultra B going to be irrelevant once that hits? Probably not. More in a track environment, I think so. I think,
think
the
so?
Ultra. I just think the Ultra B is not totally the pick right now for a track
Yeah,
bike.
I
And
would
I think
agree.
once something better comes around, that's like not quite Stark, but like still really high performance.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I personally would just want one of those. I'm kind of a one bike guy though, so
Yeah.
I'm almost in this situation where I'm like, do I really want to make that jump and have this bike that I don't beat my bikes up too much, but I don't know. Like if I want to make that step to like get a Benell or a Dust right away,
That makes sense. I mean, I don't know that I want to do that either.
I think I'm going to chill for a year, to be honest.
Well, what we're gonna have one. The nice part is we'll be able to have one. We'll be able to test it. We'll be able to ride it.
Yeah, we'll know if it's like
We'll know if
really,
it's
really
worth-
worth the money.
But I want to. So obviously, there's the other topic. This isn't like a segue. It's just kind of bridging it. I wonder what's going on in the world of Sur-Ron with all of these lawsuits. Because obviously a lot of people are going through lawsuits, Talaria, E-Ride, like it's kind of just coming down the pipe. I don't know what's going to happen. And quite honestly, like I don't really care. There's been plenty of commentary on that. Nobody really knows.
Yeah.
So I just don't really want to dive into that.
I mean, are these other bikes that are like obviously different and more toward like the look of a Japanese bike really in danger?
No, but I wonder if my question here is that do we think that Sur-Ron puts out better bikes at the middle or end or beginning of 2027, end of 2026?
What do you see them doing?
Well, a power.
I think the Hyper-B is probably fine. It's kind of a new...
I think that's going up. I think it's going to go up.
In like power?
Yeah.
You think it needs it after riding it? Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. It's like it's clearly designed for a kid.
No, but there's like the market's moved.
The light beat also needs to change.
The light beat
what
needs
do you think?
to go up.
Better wheels and 12 kilowatts?
I mean, it's already 18, 19. I don't think they change much. They switch it to a 72 volt system, give it a few more amp hours. It's already got an 18, 19 setup. And quite honestly, you increase the power through the controller from 8 to 12. Boom. You got a 2.0
You think 12 is the number?
Yeah. I think 12
is probably like a safer number.
They're not going to go up.
It's a price thing too.
It's
not going to be a 3.0. Yeah. Because realistically, if you look at E-Ride, like the 2.0 is kind of their like
base model
if you're a taller person.
Yeah, for sure. And like you still want to have fun, I mean, we were out there on that 2.0 this week, and it's a completely stock
powertrain. Like the favorite bike,
and it is the favorite bike. And that's the thing. So I think you
doesn't
just
kind
of suspension.
I mean, technically that was a 3.0 front wheel, but it's basically OEM wheels and tires.
Yeah,
and EXT.
That's it. And you have a complete ripper of a bike.
Yeah.
So we have that. I think that they're going to do, I guess, I don't know, but I would, if I would, they're going to get through these lawsuits and then they're going to have to go back to competing to some degree, because I don't know that these other companies are going to have stop sell orders. I don't know if that's a thing that they can actually do or they will do, or those companies will dissolve and open up under a different name. Who knows? There's a million ways around it, but then
they need to make a move anyway. I mean, the Ultra B is still in a fine spot, I think.
So do you think the Ultra B continues selling at its current pace throughout 2026, even with Bonnell and let's say Dust comes to market?
I think it's still going to do decently well.
Yeah, I don't think... I
just because of the price. I mean, there are just way more people who can spend $5,000 Alibaba money on a bike versus people who can drop $8,000.
Well, what is the...
I don't know. The prices aren't official on those bikes, but I think like we could bank on at lowest like in the $8,000 range, somewhere in there, 8
for
to
the
9
805?
for the 805 base model.
Yeah.
And then I bet it's going to be at least like 10
for the 902.
For the 902 for the base model. But they have like different versions, So the point is like you're looking at quite a bit more. And some people, they just want to start lower and they want to build from there. And the Ultra B is still a sick bike. And also like it's just tried and true. There are parts out. Some people, they really want to do that. More, they're probably, I've realized this more and more over the time of working with you guys. It just is what people want to do. They just want to like build them. They want to colorize them. They want to do what they want to do. And they want to have options. So honestly, I think Ultra B sales will still be at least like 70 to 80% of what they are right now.
Yeah, I don't. That's
you're just gonna
kind
get
of what I'm getting at.
The older dudes with money in their pockets who know they want to make a really sick bike.
Right.
They're probably gonna like switch. They're probably gonna jump to something different. That's probably what they want to do versus building an Ultra B. Because a lot of people, they just want a bike that works, man.
And that is the hardest. I think that's what we deal with a lot of. We deal with that a lot here, and
everyone falls into it. They get an Ultra B, and then it's like they realize, oh shit. Like,
because every
it's a money pit.
Ultra B purchase starts with, I don't really need much. This is plenty, and then they're calling back within 2 or 3 weeks.
I just talked to a guy who wants a Pegasus now,
and that one guy just ordered like another $2,000 worth of stuff that he didn't need when he bought the bike because it wasn't necessary.
Yeah.
So like
things change as soon as you get on the bike and you get comfortable.
You realize it's limitations.
It's not a regret kind of thing. I mean, like I've done it and I'm okay with it. I really love it.
I freaking love it.
The point for me now is just to have like the sickest trail bike I can build. And currently I believe that an Ultra B really built up is that still.
Yeah, I would agree.
On the current market. I mean, obviously a Stark to a certain person works better, but I think the majority of trail riders would be better on an Ultra B.
So, and I think this is one thing that I hate to admit, and this is so bad for the business, but it's the truth, right? This is bad for business, but it's a hard reality. We were at you didn't get to go, the pit bike track, and you've already heard this. I'm just telling, This is for the people, okay? This is for the people. And we didn't record any of this. Like, I'm just telling you what happened because it was a tragedy. We went to the pit bike track, Skyline AZ Raceway or Skyline Raceway AZ. It's a pit bike track, privately owned. It's in Buckeye, Arizona. If you're ever around, they have open practice days. It is such a cool little track. They have like a weird farm behind their house. So if you have like other smaller kids that don't ride, but they need something to do, there's pigs running around. It's a very interesting place, but it exists and I freaking love it. So we took the the SR behind us. We took our 2.0 race bike. Mm-hmm. We took the Mini. We took the RTR Torque with 1417. We took the Torque Pro Sport, and we took the Sur-Ron Hyper-B, and we took the Ventus 1 Plus. It's a lot of bikes. We loaded the trailer completely out and went up there.
You wanted options because you had a lot of people coming.
A lot of people coming. I wanted to test and see how everything rode. So let's go through the carnage of each individual bike. Let's start with the bikes that didn't have carnage. First, the Hyper-B. That's because it really didn't get ridden that much because it's quite literally
someone
built for a trial.
That bike if they wanted to.
If somebody would have rode it hard, it would have not came off the track. We probably would have buried it there. But either way, it was there. And it came out unscathed, but it didn't get much use. RTR. Most people didn't like that bike. And these are all pit bike guys. Like, that's what they do is they ride. What was the biggest complaint? They just didn't feel like they didn't like the power. They didn't feel it had enough low end. Like it just wasn't really giving them the pop out of the corners that they needed to clear the big doubles. So it got ridden by two different like really serious pit bike guys. Bucky, Cohen's trainer, he was there. He rode the heck out of it. Yeah. And nobody was impressed by it. It was like boring to most people. Now
I can see that. Yeah, I think it's a cool bike, but I think it's also...
But it made it out unscathed. So it does get a point in that category.
That's good.
So then that's where the unscathed pretty much stops. So then we started riding the SR.
Anything else make it out?
Oh, the 2.0. The freaking faithful 2.0 that got ripped. That bike got rode by more people, did more laps than any other bike out there.
Yeah.
Stock powertrain. Yes, it's got the EXT MX kit.
No flats, no bends.
No flats, no bends.
Didn't even have rim locks.
No rim locks. Well, it doesn't really have enough power for rim locks, you would think. I mean, the Mini doesn't either, but it's tire spun. Yeah. So the 2.0, completely perfect. No issues. Nothing. Now, granted, we do have, I think we also have the custom race swing arm on it with a chain guide. So the swing arm's not flexing.
Good point. There are a few more mods that I forgot about.
Me too.
Yeah.
But still,
you forget the swing arm thing because it's actually like the E-Ride thing. Branded one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's the E-Ride race swing arm that they sent us, and that bike had no problems. So then we'll go into the SR. SR actually did really good. This is like the custom showpiece. Like, I love this bike so much. But what I've learned is that like I can't actually ride it anywhere. Like, which kind of sucks unless I ride in the street, and I don't ever ride in the street.
Not fun on the track?
Yeah, it was until somebody got on it with boots on and like rubbed my powder coat off.
What'd you expect, bro?
I died. Retrospect, right? Like I'm like going back through this stuff. But anyways, nothing major here. We did not have a rim lock on the rear tire. I spun the rear tire off.
And now we do.
So not the end of the world there on the E-Ride side. Like that's, you got a pretty powerful bike. We weren't riding in the top power mode, but we were definitely up in the 18, 19 kilowatt range in mode 3.
It's on a Ventus powertrain too.
Yeah, it's on a Ventus powertrain. So it definitely, it got some use. And it did it did a lot of laps. So that was the only thing from the E-Ride side that broke. And then we go into the Ventus 1 Plus, Cohen's bike.
Not totally true, the Mini.
Oh, the Mini. Yeah, the Mini.
The Mini didn't.
It didn't fare so well.
The shock's a pogo stick. The oil is gone.
So the shock came completely unthreaded. All the oil leaked out. Yeah. Now, granted, we have the guy.
You can literally bounce like a basketball.
Literally, the only thing in there is the spring. It's like going.
It's like a light up bike. Yeah. I was like bouncing it.
So that happened on the Mini. But the guys were riding it hard. They were hitting big jumps. They were doing no-handers.
And they like that bike more than the RTR.
They loved that bike.
Yeah,
I have
it's sick.
3 guys that want a Mini from that just going out there.
Because that's the electric pit bike.
Yeah, it's the electric pig bike. It was the best. Everyone loved it.
How are the bars? Like we did the bars and pegs like as wide open as possible.
I think I want to come down on the bars. I want to take that
Just
20
take the
millimeters.
riser out?
Yeah, I don't think it needs the riser. I'll actually do that today.
Okay.
Just take the riser down because it's almost too much.
It has the tall bars, by the way.
Yeah, and it has the 3-inch Warp 9 rise bars. Those videos all exist on our YouTube channel, so if you want to look at them, feel free. So the shock completely blown out of the Mini. Kind of expected. It was getting jumped really hard. The Ventus One Plus, same exact issue though. The shock. So
that had wear before, but that seems like that's a known issue for the V1 Pluses. At least we've had a few bikes that
with that shock.
It's basically it looks like the spring is rubbing on the body.
Yep.
Like when the spring compresses, it almost like
folds
turns
in
a
on
little
itself.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm curious. Anyone else who's had that issue?
Yeah, leave that in the comments.
That below because we're really curious because we've seen a few bikes do it and it's kind of like, okay, there's something wrong with that.
Yeah, it's something I don't know what it is. Like I'm not sure, but yeah, it's causing that problem. So again, same exact thing that happened on the Mini. So my question to you is, this is like more of a technical question. I don't know if you know.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, when you're going up the jump face, you're compressed and you're in the air, you're slacked out, and then you land. So that decompression, do you think that decompression is what's pulling on the threads of that shock and unthreading
the
it?
The spring is technically like pushing it open.
Yeah.
But it should have like the ability to stop itself.
Right,
know?
right.
I don't know. I mean, I told you, do you remember what I told you when you told me all this stuff?
What?
I was like, newsflash, these are bikes from China. You know?
Well, and that's what I'm getting to, right? So I don't know what the problem is or why it happened, but it happened on 2 bikes. And this is going to bring me to my next point.
Yeah.
And then the Torque Pro Sport.
This is a pretty gnarly one.
This is a gnarly one. Now, I do want to say that I don't think we made modifications to the Torque bike against Torque's advice, but we did it to balance the bike out to what we felt was necessary in order to make the bike feel comfortable, both front and rear suspension wise.
Suspension wise, basically, if you haven't seen the video, the rear shock is set to be pretty stiff and the front is quite a bit softer, at least on ours. Ours has like adjusters that like aren't working properly. It's softer in the front. It was really stiff in the rear with the 550 shock. I get it from the sense of like keep the wheel out of the controller, but it just doesn't, it feels stiff up in the front. So we put a 450. We basically, when we took the EXT, or we put the EXT on the 2.0, I just put the 2.0 shock on it.
Yeah, just to see.
It's soft, but it's balanced now. The other thing that we did that's kind of weird is because it's a 17-inch, we put a 17-inch IRC on it, and it's pretty big for it.
Huge knobs.
But like what other options do you have other than like get another kind of weird replacement from China?
Right. So we didn't really have many options of how to do it. So we did it that way because it felt better like in the shop, like when just testing the suspension and like it's an equal amount of flex between the front and rear. And we're like, okay, this feels better. Let's run this. We took it out there and obviously the controller is up under the fender. From a race perspective, I get it, swapping a controller.
Oh, there are a lot of pros to that.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of pros to it. The downside is the reason there's a 550 shock in the rear is to keep the back tire from hitting the rear fender because that's where your controller is. So that's a huge concession that was made that unbalances the bike or makes the bike feel unbalanced.
And think about it like Ultra B, because that's what I know, and my fenders have rubber under the bottom of them from bottoming out.
Yeah.
You're hitting something that's super smooth. It's a piece of plastic.
It's designed to have a wheel roll through it.
It hits, you feel the bottom out, but then it like just moves past it. A controller with a heat sink on it is like gripping to concrete, basically.
Yeah.
That's the difference.
And that's what happened. So Cohen was doing this double-double section. It's actually double-double-double. Out of a corner, double, the first one is fine. I mean, he's greasing it. He's not casing it, right? So out of the first one was fine. Out of the second one, he kept landing, and like that tire would hit the rear controller. And it would like slow the bike way down because it's got etching and grooves in it, and and that rubber is just catching it and stopping the wheel from like rolling over. Yeah. So then he would land in that, and obviously his weight would go forward, and he would hit the gas to get it moving again for the next section. And then, you're kind of like that sprocket is like going and then it's stopping and then you're adding a bunch of tension to it right away. So I think what happened was He landed. It got stuck up in the fender where the controller is, kind of got unsettled on the sprocket. He hit the gas really hard, came off the front sprocket, but he had enough momentum into the last double, but everything
Jammed.
locked up. So then he's nosediving, and he just lands in an endo. And this is on like a metal bridge, So
he was on that section?
Yeah, he was
Jeez.
he landed in a nose wheelie on the bridge, on the downside of the bridge, luckily on the downside, and rode it all the way down to the bottom and then flipped over the bars. And he's all banged up and scratched up. And things happen, and we're not upset with torque because we made changes to the bike that we thought were necessary. And
but also that's all possible.
It's all possible no matter what.
Yeah.
So that chain came off the front sprocket, long story short. And that was a long.
Yeah, and it probably, because it's a gear reduction, that probably would have been a belt breaker kind of situation.
Oh, yeah.
But because you have that safety, you know what I mean? I'm not advocating for belts in this circumstance.
No.
But it probably, on the SR in the same kind of situation, probably would have just broken the belt.
Yep. And then it would have kind of been a point of failure that would have sucked to fix, but it wouldn't have caused the other problem. But we still would have been bitching about the fact that the belt broke.
For sure.
Because we wouldn't have thought about
an endless thing.
Yeah. So that obviously that happened. We were able to get everything back seated on the sprocket.
Is that end of the day kind of stuff?
That was right at the end of the day.
Yeah. And caused the end of the day.
Yeah, and we were just like, okay. And then it just when things just start happening and like right behind each
the
other.
Graveyard is
and then
building
the
slowly.
Mini blew apart, and then all this stuff's broken. The point to all of that big long story is back to your point about Chinese. Every time,
and not everything from China is shit.
And it's not that these bikes are necessarily shit. It's that we are taking these bikes beyond what they're physically capable of accomplishing. And every time we leave, this happened to me. Remember when I left the track, I was training with Cohen. I called you. It was that private track in Marana. And I blew the belt. And I was
on
just...
your Ultra B, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I was just frustrated.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm about to just buy a fucking Stark.
Yeah,
I just
you
don't
really wanted
want
to
deal with broken shit anymore.
Yeah.
And it's I want this to work so bad. And I think it's going to come a long way. And it's an awesome opportunity for people to get on the bike that maybe aren't doing the stuff we're doing.
Yeah.
The problem is that I feel like we're pushing so hard and everything just fucking breaks.
Yeah. And they're just learning lessons. I mean, anyone who's spent a lot of time on a bike, you learn what works and what doesn't. And some of these bikes that we have are bikes that are tried and true, and some are we're just trying them out. We're seeing what holds. I mean, this new version of the Mini, we've never ridden a Mini that hard before.
No, and you see a bunch of people on Instagram, and I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but you see a bunch of people on Instagram doing big jumps and all this stuff, and it's but you don't ever hear about I'm not advocating to not buy a Mini.
Well, when people are endorsed, they're not going to tell you about all the shit that broke.
That's true. But I just feel it's, there's just a lack of transparency. But to the Stark comment,
we should normalize it though. Let's please normalize that things break.
And that's okay.
And if your wheels break or your bearings break or your sprockets break or your belts break, it's not a warranty thing. It's probably just you broke the part.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yep.
You replace it.
And you keep moving.
And you move on and you learn how to do that shit yourself.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, sorry.
Don't get Nate going on the warranty stuff.
I'm happy to do warranty on stuff that makes sense, but there are too many things where people are submitting warranties for things that it's just a wear part.
Yeah.
It's if you wear your tires out, does that make sense to file a warranty on it? No. It just, things happen. If you run over a nail and pop your tire, it's not anyone else's fault.
No.
And it's probably not yours either. It just happens.
So that's
anyway.
That's been Nate's week. It's
not that bad. I'm just saying that I think a lot of people, we just need to normalize that these bikes are not indestructible. No dirt bike is. Yes, Honda bikes are probably going to hold up a lot better than an e-ride bike. Even though e-ride's a superior e-moto brand, there are bikes that have been out for 60 years and they've learned a lot of lessons. And also, if you buy a CRF 110 or whatever, you don't expect it to do everything.
Right.
And if you do, you're crazy because it's the lowest spec suspension you can buy.
Right.
Anyway.
Well, and I think back to the Stark thing, and this is a rabbit hole, and we're going to move on because we have another important topic.
Yeah, we got to move on to topic 2.
This bike is as much as a Stark Varg.
Pretty wild.
You know what I mean? Like
it's a really sick SR build.
Yeah, for sure. But like I could have something that I'm just more confident in.
It's a very specific bike.
I
At the
know.
end of the day, you're always going to be limited to a smaller wheel size
Yeah.
when you're on these little bikes.
Yeah.
So depending on what you want to do, how much do you really want to invest in it?
I don't know.
If you have an SX track like that, dude, I would 100% have something like that, or like just a built-up e-ride. I don't have that. That's not my kind of riding.
No.
I'll use your bikes when we go there.
Great.
Until I build one myself.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So let's move on from that.
right.
Moral of the story is that I feel like when these things happen, I just get frustrated, and I'm like, what? It's like a lot of time, it's a lot of money, it's a lot of effort to try to get these bikes to a place where they just you have to run them within their limitations. And I think we are notorious just people in general, we're notorious for pushing these bikes well beyond what they're probably capable of doing, and then we complain about it, and then that's just
then you got to find a part that replaces it, and it's just knowledge to the next person, you know.
Yeah.
At least when a customer comes in, we ask them what they're going to do with it. We're just more equipped to tell them, okay, yes, and you're also going to want that, or be prepared to buy that because it's probably going to happen. Yeah.
And that's, I don't know if you're teeing that up, but that was solid.
All right, I might have been.
That takes us to this next topic, which nobody talks about because the business of electric dirt bikes and parts and all of that stuff is a business. It's people are trying to make money, right? They want it, the more parts they sell, the more money they make, blah, blah, blah. That's the way of the world. And that's totally fine. But we have a theme. I don't want to call it a rule because it's oftentimes not the case, because some people go into it with the expectation that this is the starting point, and I know to do the thing that I want to do, it's going to blow through the roof.
Example, Ultra B.
Example,
in the
Ultra
current
B.
market, because there aren't other options, and
Right.
you just kind of have to go to the moon to like get that bike.
Yeah. And so this is for anybody who's listening who hasn't bought an e-moto or is considering buying one, or they want to buy their kid one, whatever it is. We have parents and phone calls and people buying bikes for themselves that come into the shop, or they call the line on a regular basis. It's very easy. People are excitable. This is a new product. They're investing anywhere from $4,000 to $6,000 into something, and then they want to upgrade it, and they want to do this and they want to do that. So,
or they don't know they want to, and they just want to like enter at some point, and they don't know much yet. And what you don't know, and then you're left in this position of like, well, now I want to do that, but to do that, it costs this, or at least I think so. And then, oh shit, I actually have to get that and that and that to make.
It starts to go down a rabbit hole.
Yeah, it becomes.
It's a waterfall effect.
Yes.
Of your bank account.
For sure.
So here's what we do, and this is what I want you to consider. We call it the 10% rule. It's not necessarily a rule. If you're buying a bike that is $5,000, and you have already decided from the time that you leave with that bike that you're going to be spending X amount of dollars more, you should work within 10% of what that bike costs. And what I mean by that is if a bike costs $5,000 and if you have to invest more than 10% of the bike's value into the parts necessary
just to get it to work for what you want to do,
to where you want it, buy a different bike. Because it doesn't make sense on a lot of occasions to buy an e-ride 2.0 and then be like, okay, well, I want more power. I'm going to put a controller on just to come to realize that maybe I'm going to get a kilowatt and a half, maybe.
Unless you do the battery.
Unless you do the battery, that's $2,000 or $3,000.
Yeah, a lot of things. We've learned this ourselves.
Yeah, and I've learned it, and I think that's what people don't tell you. Of course, like we want people to spend money, but at the same time, like we don't want them to go down this crazy $10,000 build when in the beginning, if they would have just bought a different bike,
if
they would have needed
power
less.
Mattered to you, if you knew that like being in that dick swinging competition of like, I got the biggest, fastest, baddest bike matters to you, then maybe you should just buy the SR right now or the V1 Plus, like that's a better fit than you buying a 2.0 and thinking that a controller is going to make a difference someday, because it won't.
And sure, that may cost you, let's say the difference between a 2.0 and a V1 Plus is for $1,600, $1,700.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a big jump,
it's only
right?
like $1,000 between the SR and the 2.0 though, right?
Yeah, well, $1,200.
That's crazy though. Okay, just to put that in perspective though, you know what I mean? Like, you get a lot more bike.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is that with the SR, it's heavier. It's maybe not exactly what a lot of people want to ride. If you're a kid, your parents probably aren't going to be like stoked about you having 25 kilowatts on tap unless you're like a really experienced rider who knows to like back off.
Right.
That's where it's tricky.
Yeah.
Because like you don't want to give too much power out, but they have like app control that, I don't know, we haven't really like looked into it completely. And like,
we change everything anyways. It's like we don't really keep it there.
For sure. We've said it though before. It's kind of like if you just want a long-term investment, just get something like an SR or 3.0.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that's what most people should consider when they go into buying one of these bikes. Just think about that. Like you may have to spend $1,200 or $1,400 or $1,600 more initially, but that is going to save you in order to get the powertrain of the Ventus in an e-ride later on down the line. It's like $4,000. You know what I mean? So you can just kind of buy that up front, and sure, maybe you don't need it right away. Maybe you don't use it all right away. That's cool too.
Yeah.
You have the ability to control what power you use, but you're not spending an unlimited amount of money trying to make this bike what you could have bought from the very beginning. And it just, there's like this vicious cycle that we see.
Yeah. And also like upgrading some of this stuff, it will make things probably less reliable.
Yeah.
A lot of controllers have issues. They have bugs. We've been lucky with a few of them. We've been unlucky with a lot of them.
Yeah. Yes.
And it's really nice when you get one that just works. But yeah, it's a tricky thing. And it just depends on what you want, you know?
Well, this is something I haven't got to talk about very often. This is kind of way off topic. So we're going to kill it. 10% rule. We think you should take that into consideration. And when you go to buy a bike, no matter who it's from, and they're trying to sell all these parts and upgrades, just put that in the back of your mind. We're not saying people are bad. We're just saying that it's a business and people try to make money, and that's okay.
It's an easy mistake too when you don't know. I've done this so many times, dude.
100%.
When I bought a Tenere 700 years ago, I was like, oh, I'm not going to spend that much. Dude, like I was $4,000 into that bike.
Yep.
There weren't power mods I was doing other than like exhaust.
Right.
So if you don't know exactly what you need, call us. Call us. We will like give you years of experience and make your life so easy. We'll take the guessing work out of it. So just like call us, because that's like the easiest thing you could do.
Yeah. And just to talk to a real person. And the thing about, I hope this can always be the case. I don't, things change in life, but if you call, like, it's me or Nate.
Yeah. And if it's not us, it's Court.
Yeah. If it's not us, it's Court.
If Court can't answer it, you'll get us.
You'll get us. And you can just talk to us and you can ask us our honest opinion.
Yeah.
And if that costs us a bike sale, we do not care. It's just not, our number one priority is not turning this into a fortune. We do this because we absolutely love it.
Yeah.
We love motorcycles. We love the whole newness of it. And if we can help, we will. And if you got to buy the things somewhere else, we're happy to let you do that. Anyways.
So we just want people to have what they actually need for what their job is that they're doing with it. Yeah.
So I have a theory.
All right.
This is something we've talked about, but I have a theory. It's my dust theory, and I want to put this on camera because I haven't had a chance to talk about it on camera yet. Okay.
I think you might be right.
So
I'm not saying it to the world, but I'll let you say it.
I'll say whatever. So here's my dust theory. There was a time, what seems like long, long ago, when Stark Varg was on the come up, we'll call it. They were hustling hard, chasing DAP paper, okay? And they chased DAP paper all the way into Royal Enfield, where they got a seed investment of like $25 million. I could have these numbers slightly wrong.
I don't know all the details on that.
I don't either. So I'm not going to get too deep into the weeds, but I do know that part. So, and that's what allowed Stark Varg to really invest into what they are today. Yep. And now they're like one of the most profitable dirt bike companies in the world, which is astounding. If you think about where they came from, and this is what, 3 years? Is it that?
Yeah, dude.
I
was just thinking about like their content and like the branding. It is like
the best,
the coolest, cleanest brand with like some of the most engaging stuff.
100%.
Yeah.
And like their CEO still gets on the camera and he's still out there riding wheelies and like,
yeah, they're passionate about it.
I'm sure that he doesn't do that all the time.
Just build something that works.
Yeah.
And it's meant to perform. And if it's not performing, they're going to try to make it perform. They're not trying to make it cheap. They're trying to make it great. And I wish everyone was doing that.
Well, So my theory here is that you have this company that is on the forefront of competing with Starkvarg. That's the quality that it appears that bike is going to come with.
Yeah.
It's incredible from the beginning. I love it, and I will absolutely buy. I would spend my own money at retail price to have one of those bikes because I think it is going to be the best bike besides Stark. So that said, they're not really at a lot of the stuff. We don't see them anywhere, and when they are somewhere, they're like kind of piggybacking off somebody, and that just screams to me it's a money issue, and that's fine. I'm sure they're building a bike. The thing's expensive.
Yeah,
all the stuff they got to spend money on. They're the last,
and
thing
they just are where they are. They'll spend
Yeah.
the money when it's like we're ready to go.
Maybe.
Okay,
So
I know exactly what you're saying.
So my thing is, it appears to me that they are copy pasting Stark's entire system of completely build a bike, completely lock down manufacturing, completely lock down the prototypes, all the patents, everything that they need to do, get your supply chains in order, get your customer base riled up, and then take that big package
and create a little go button.
Yep. And create a go button. That go button costs in the neighborhood of $20 million.
Yeah.
And a big company who is 10 years behind Stark, 10 years behind Dust, 10 years behind Sur-Ron, has a ton of cash. This sounds like something stupid KTM would do. But, I mean, it would be fucking genius.
Yeah, I don't...
It would literally change Anyways, they're going to take it to a company like
They
that.
might not make those moves right now.
No, I know, but it would be smart.
Yeah, it could be. Honestly,
they,
would fit. It kind of would fit. Too,
that's what I'm saying. They
sure.
probably shouldn't have invested in mountain bikes and just save that money. But either way, the point being is I think they're just trying to bundle that up and take it to a huge investment company or another brand.
Why not? It's going to be hard as hell to like do it without that, and it's going to be
100%.
Like, it's going to blow up and do really well if you get the money.
100%.
And have that
And I think it's a genius idea, but I think it's one of those things that like they're not saying, and I'm sure Stark wasn't saying at the time, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, I guess I don't even know exactly
I just
what
feel
that
like,
looked like.
with like this Dust thing has, even talking to Colin, like I know I wants the bike out there,
Yeah.
but at the same time, I feel like he's like playing the long game. You know what I mean? Like if he just keeps pumping like their social media presence is fucking massive. Their buzz is absolutely crazy. Everything about that
It's
bike.
really cool, like DIY though, in a lot of ways too.
Yeah.
I respect the hell out of that.
I do too.
And I can tell that like everything is really thought out.
So I think
like
if that's the case, right? If
Yeah.
everything's been really thought out, it's very thorough and very detailed.
Yep.
Somebody with a good business mind is saying, we're going to go all the way to the finish line and then we're going to stop. And then we're going to go, because just think of now this in retrospect from an investment perspective, like investor as myself and investor as in you,
Yep.
we have investments. But I didn't see the writing. There was no way I would have been able to know. But back in the day, you could have bought a section of Dust, a piece of Dust, because they were all crowdfunded in the beginning.
Yeah, I wish I would have bought Bitcoin, I guess. But
Yeah, well, for sure. Yeah, I wish I would have bought more Bitcoin. Yeah, but the thing is, like, that would have been a genius idea, and all those first founders, all those people, that guy who put in like $100,000. If they do what I think they're trying to do, that guy's going to like 20 times his money or 10 times his money just by sitting on $100,000 for a year and a half, 2 years. He's going to walk away with $1 million or $2 million. Literally, because no big company is going to come in and give Dust all this money and then have all these freelance investors attached to it. They're going to say, get them the hell out of here.
Yeah.
This is ours now. And all those people are just going to get paid. It's, God,
do you
shit.
think, though, that it can be this American-made thing, though, with some
No.
of these other investors? That's another thing I'm concerned about.
No, I don't think. Well, I don't know, dude. Where they're doing, Stark is doing it in where? Barcelona?
Yeah.
Is that where it's at? Spain?
Yeah, and Dust is Bend, I believe.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't know the cost of living in Barcelona, but I don't think it's cheap, and I don't I don't think that the manufacturing in Barcelona is less expensive or much less expensive than it would be to do it here.
It's a good point.
So sure, I think it's very
could
possible.
totally be a U.S. thing. Yeah.
Because you're also going to be charging. That bike is not going to be $9,000 or $10,000. It's going to be $11,000 or $12,000. They're just letting Stark literally. Stark is out there in a dump truck paving the road, and Dust is just watching them work and developing as they develop and probably working the things that they're working. It's so genius that when it hit me, I think I was driving back from somewhere and I called you and I was like, I figured it out. if that were me, that's what I would be doing.
Yeah. I wonder when Stark is going to come out with a midsize that's just going to eliminate like this huge need for this bike in the market, because Benell is already like there. It's a different bike, but it's also very similar. I think Benell is like in its own way a very big competitor with this dust bike. You know, they're very similar. They kind of like split the middle. You know, it's almost like the dust is somewhere between the 805 and the 902 in size. It doesn't really. Doesn't care about trying to have big numbers.
The dust?
No. They're like straight up. They're like, it's 42 horsepower. We could do more, but we don't think it's necessary. So we're like not going to do that. We're not chasing that like fastest bike in the world thing.
That now you have to
I
like
respect.
ask Stark for, like, you have to email Stark and like get like a firmware update sent to you if you want to unlock 80 horsepower.
I didn't know that was the case now.
Yeah, but which just makes perfect sense. Like they did it, and then they're like, okay, this is stupid. Let's just drop it all back down to 60
I
horsepower.
personally would just buy 60.
Yeah, and I never would. I would just give me 40.
Yeah.
Like I would. When are you going to ride 60? Never.
I mean, I would.
We would test it.
Yeah, I would at least want to have 60, but the whole 80 thing for me, it's like I pay $1,000 more to get 80.
Yeah.
I'm okay. I'm going to save $1,000 and like not have to show my buddies what 80
Well,
horsepower
and what were
is.
you just saying? You were just saying something that was like a really good train of thought.
What? The midsize thing?
Yeah, because
I just wonder the timing of all this, because if you're hanging on to the whole like made in America kind of thing, that will completely limit who will want to invest in this, because the investors may also, I don't know, maybe they would just invest in and be like, yeah, that's fine, do it in America because that makes sense and that will appeal to different people. I just wonder if that's going to be a limitation when it comes to investors, and also like the timing of all this, because Stark being very well established, if they put out a mid-sized bike tomorrow and it's me loving dust, wanting to support dust, seeing the Stark out as well, I don't know. I'm probably going to think that the Stark is...
I don't think you would, because it's not a swappable battery.
What if it is?
Okay. I don't think they would change that. Okay. Anyways, if it is, I'm with you.
I'm just
Ultra
saying.
B's literally on Facebook Marketplace
Yeah.
right now. I'm going to get 2 star or whatever, just one.
Totally. So
Like-
I'm just saying, like, things need to happen quickly here.
Yeah.
And I know that they're at the point of like production level plastics have been ordered, or they're on the bikes at least. I just saw that recently. Yeah, I just think like if that's the case, moves have to be made, because this has to like get rolling, because I think that thing's coming.
Well, you have and I told you about this the other day. I was looking at a comment on a Stark Varg post, and somebody posted like, we need a mid-size, or we need you to make small bikes. And Stark Varg responded to their comment and said, we will. Like, so cryptic, you know? That's going to be the gold standard. And I think there are all these hopes, right? So this is maybe this might be too much, but there are a lot of hopes from a lot of these manufacturers that are Chinese built, Chinese driven, American engineered one way or the other. I don't think anybody gives a shit where it's engineered. I do care where it's tested. I don't care if it's engineered in China or engineered in the United States. Like I think we are so far past the point of that mattering. Like, we are obviously in it.
But there are also a lot of bikes that actually like think about the geometry. Yeah. And it seems like there are a lot that don't really. And it's like disturbing that there are people making motorcycles that like just don't even feel right.
I would say that that's also true. But I think what I could foresee happening is we have all these bikes that are trying to compete and be something that they're just never going to be able to do and compete. And we're trying to like build this thing that's like, when Dust or even Bonnell, or like, the standard has already been set.
Yeah, it's changing.
Like the AMA is like, I had that call with the AMA guy yesterday from Ohio.
That's cool.
They want to come to the shop. They just want to see all the bikes. They want to know them. They said, hey, we want to call you back. Can we ask you questions? They're trying to learn, because they know AMA has finally, I think, as of 2026, they have just accepted it, and they're like, we have got to figure this shit out.
They're going to make money if they do.
Yeah.
So like, why you can't be like a traditionalist anymore if you're running a business.
Purist.
Yeah.
No, you can't.
Yeah, purist.
And I think you have, if Stark does do that, if they go to drop it down a couple sizes, Dust drops it down a couple sizes, Bonnell drops it down a couple of sizes, there's not going to be, I mean, how many major OEMs are there for gas-powered motorcycles? dirt bikes, 4, 5, whatever.
And then also let's remember that Honda and Yamaha are probably coming out with something in the next, let's say, 2 years.
Yeah, they probably are they're gonna have to. If the AMA is finally starting to warm up to it, then we know the Japanese have gotten the hint, right? So a lot of this stuff, is it even? I think there'll always be a place for it, but like it's not.
What, cheaper stuff?
Yeah, this stuff. Like the e-ride stuff.
I think the smaller e-moto market is still going to be this very like modular kind of a thing. And I think that there are going to be bikes that are more like, it's a dirt bike, it looks like a dirt bike. That's not going to be quite that.
Right.
It's going to be like...
So you think that there will always maintain this weird, I don't want to call it weird, but like this segment that is like cheaper, kind of, but like... Because what if Stark has a bike that's an 85 size bike? I just think it is more of a toy. It's like,
well, even at that, I don't totally see it that way. I just think it's an aesthetics thing. I think some people, they want a bike that looks like that to rip in the street. Some people will want a dirt bike looking bike,
that's true.
But like that just looks cool as it is. That thing's like a very customized looking machine.
Yeah.
But as soon as you start putting like shrouds and all the stuff on and number plates, it's kind of like, okay, it's just like a different thing now.
Right.
So I think that there's still going to be this like creative realm of this, let's say from e-ride terms, from the Mini. The Mini's kind of dirt bike looking in its own way too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Metal frame.
Ours looks very dirt bike, but
exposed metal frame, that kind of deal.
But I still think that there's going to be a stretch of like those bikes, because realistically, e-ride is probably not going to make a bike that competes with Stark.
No,
they're not going to make a race bike like that's a full-on dirt bike. They're still going to have a race team, but I think it's still going to like look kind of like this.
Yeah,
I might be wrong.
No, I think you're right.
But I see a world where both exist, just because I know that there are people who ride in the streets and there are people who want to ride at a track.
Right.
And those are just very different use cases and cultures. And I think that this culture makes a lot of sense in the street still.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Agree with that.
You see that?
That's a great point. Yeah.
Yeah. I hope that there's always room for those bikes.
I agree.
Yeah. I think they're cool. And I actually appreciate that there are options. And it's really cool that like a bike that coming from gas bikes, people probably look at that and they're like, man, that's so weird looking.
Yeah, for sure.
But like after spending enough time with it, it's like you appreciate it for like,
it's
what
it's
it
weirdness.
Is. It's really cool. Yeah.
And I think there's always going to be like, as frustrated as I get when all the bikes break or a majority of them break in a given day, I like to tinker. And I think that's where a lot of people are, right? Like you don't get a Stark and touch it. Like you do maybe very minor things.
Not really,
like
though.
They've really locked that bike down to where it's like kind of, it's not made to be touched. Like,
no, the suspension is even like amazing out of the box.
So I think like there's always going to be that group of people who just want to like customize and tinker and build these cool things and like and I hope that market never goes away, not from a business perspective, but just like that artistic freedom perspective. Like people can just like express. Sounds super hippie, but they can like express themselves
totally,
through their bike. You
totally.
know what I mean? Where you can't do that on like a fucking gas bike with like a number plate.
Or you just wouldn't.
You wouldn't, right? Because you get beat up at the track. Sorry, just kidding.
No, but I agree. I think like all the parts you can buy from Warp 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
One of the biggest brands, obviously, that's doing that. Like, yeah, man, I don't know. Like having a bike that has no option of that. Strike Shadow, for example, like piece of shit. Looks like
Here's the thing: nobody's going to hear that because I know once he comes to his senses, he's going to take that out of the podcast.
Maybe I'll say it. I'll say it. It's okay. The Strike Shadow is, if that's what you want to ride, that's cool. But realistically, I don't think anyone's going to invest in aftermarket for that bike very much.
No,
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. It's like it's kind of a junky bike. And
I get it. Relax.
Yeah, I'm not coming in that hot. But it's a weird bike, right?
Yeah.
Where it's like it kind of looks like a dirt bike. It works. I mean, that bike works for sure, and it's remarkable how cheap it is for like what you get. But yeah, there's not really aftermarket. It doesn't really have like a creative kind of thing.
No,
it's not like that's art.
Yeah,
A Strike Shadow to me is kind of like you're just getting a $1,200 bike.
And like, for some people, that's all they can afford, and I totally get it. And I'm glad that there's a market for them. Yeah, I'm glad that there's a market for them. Just you can't get pissed off when things start breaking and call us and be frustrated that you spent $1,200 or $1,500 on a motorcycle that doesn't run.
My wheel set is worth $1,200.
Yeah, literally. So let's one last segment here. I think there's a lot of really cool stuff going on in the race scene, with races becoming more and more accessible to electric bikes. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I just got done emailing with the guy from AMRA for the
local,
the Arizona
local enduro racing kind of stuff.
Sprint enduro racing here in Arizona, all over Arizona, and because what we've traditionally realized is that most race promoters or race series, they just don't have like very clear information about what goes where and how. If you ride gas and you've been racing all your life, like it all makes sense, like you kind of get it.
Electric is completely
But
unclear.
electric is like a different breed of racer. Like it's a lot of times like guys that haven't raced in many, many years, or guys that maybe never race, or girls that maybe have never raced, and they're getting on an electric bike for their first time and they want to go, whether they want to compete or have fun. But we're starting to see a lot of really cool stuff taking place in that arena. Obviously we had the 62 series this year. We have the freaking e-moto racing live. I think that's what it's called, right? EMR.
And these are moto kind of things.
Yeah, they're moto-ish, right? Those are moto things.
Which makes sense on multiple wheel diameters.
Yep. So they have that, and then we are sponsoring a series and starting a specific class in the MERP race series, which is GP racing, so track and trail in combination with each other at the same time. And we're going to have an electric class specific, and I was talking to him yesterday. And
I didn't know it was track too. Wait,
it's GP.
Okay.
So it's going to be like half track, half trail, but one course.
That's sweet.
Yeah, it's going to be really cool. And that'll be the first time that they've always allowed electric bikes. And I think that's where everybody's kind of ending up, is like they've allowed electric bikes, but they don't know where to place them or where not to place them. There's all this kilowatt shit going on that nobody understands yet.
Stuff kind of just lands in like an open class space because it's like, well.
Yep. Well, and I think and we're starting to see like these other series that are obviously they're asking for sponsorships, which is totally cool. But like the new thing that I'm doing is like, hey, we will only sponsor series that have an electric specific class.
Yep.
Not racing with gas bikes, specifically electric, where electric can race electric. And to his credit, he was like, I would love to do that. I just don't know where to start. Can you help me?
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes.
I love that.
Like, I don't know everything, but
People are becoming much more open.
That's what I mean. Like,
really
it's
cool.
so cool to see that we are now having all these opportunities to race, all these opportunities to be a part of these big gas events.
Yep.
Last year is totally different than what it is this year in terms of the landscape of these same exact series that last year were like, no, unless you're on a Stark. And there's more,
which you can understand.
I can understand. It's just easier. They don't want to mess with it.
Yeah, and in certain classes, like this AMRA thing, they told you like you can do it, but you need to be on like a bigger bike,
like a real dirt bike.
Yeah, it makes sense. If it's a trail race, it's like you need to be on 1821s.
Yeah,
to do that kind of race.
For sure. You don't want to be out there on a bike that's just going to break.
No, or like hold everyone up. I mean, if you don't have like legit traction, you'd just be in the way.
Yeah, and that's not fun because trust me, when I race, I'm in the way a lot, and it's not fun. Everyone, get the fuck out of the way.
I'm in this weird space where I raced growing up, like some moto and arena cross kind of stuff, and I haven't raced since. And part of me like doesn't want to turn it into that. And part of me is also like worried about getting hurt in some of these environments because it's like really rocky and it's hard enough to like keep it on two wheels when you have a clear path. But I can't imagine with like dust in like, you can't see where you're going. You're trying to like hold a pace. You have someone on your ass. It's like, well, and I don't know. You're more used to it than I am, but I'm almost in the space where like, I don't know if I want to like race anymore.
I noticed. Because we talk about it, and when it's like a distance conversation, you're enthusiastic. And then, well, obviously this race in particular is like not good timing, but
there's certain kinds of races that I'm like into.
But it seems like you're like, I just don't know if like I really want to get out there and do that. And I get it. Yeah. But it's funny because that you brought it up because, I could see where you're hesitant.
I just don't trust other riders too. The more time I spent at like Motoland or something, granted it's But like that's who I'd be racing against.
Yeah.
Is I'd be racing against people who are on like higher horsepower bikes because I would just be trying to keep up with them. Dude, I'm not going to get landed on for $0 fucking and no glory.
No, I agree.
Like
I
just don't
that's why
care
I
about it that way.
From a moto perspective, like motocross racing, I agree with your point, right?
Yeah.
Like at least in off-road racing, you have, if you hear somebody behind you, you can be an asshole and get pushed off, or you can just understand your limitations and pull over and let them pass you.
I like the TKO format from the sense of like, I'm behind you, I'm going to beep, you just move over, I'm going to keep going because I'm on a time right now.
Right.
And it's like, that's cool. But yeah, like the flat out kind of racing thing in environments that are like really dusty.
Yeah. Well, and ruddy, and jumps, and like racing in the C class.
I get it. And some people love that stuff, but I don't know.
I don't love it enough to risk like being hurt. I don't want to get hurt.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. And you're willing to like back off, and I don't know if I am. Like, I think I would try to like push.
Yeah. Well, I do. And then it's like, okay, undoubtedly I got to get out of this guy's way because he's fucking on my ass. But no, I think there's going to come a time.
Do you ride outside your limits a lot in those scenarios though?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So that makes sense.
Sure. And then like, obviously when you're being pushed, like it energizes you, but then like you get to a point, this is how it usually happens for me. I will be going, if somebody's coming behind me, it's pushing me and I'm going faster. But the first time I get into like a super sketchy spot where I almost whack a tree, I just let the guy go because I'm like, okay, I know what's happening here. I'm letting my macho side take over, and I just about decapitated myself. So let's just pull over, let this guy pass, and then I can get back to the pace that's comfortable for me until like I forget about what just happened, and then I can start going.
It's just easy for it to happen too.
Yeah,
like, remember when we did the really rainy ride out to the waterfall,
dude?
And we were on the way back, and I was like, I lost Josh. Where was that? And you came back, and the bike was like beat up. Your Renans were all like shredded. You're like. Your elbow guard like saved your life, basically.
Yeah.
And I was like,
and I almost didn't put it on
dude,
that
what
day.
happened? He's like, I was just trying to hang up at your pace.
I was just right on Nate's ass, and which is faster than my comfortable pace. And it was a stupid thing, right?
It's just what happens though when you ride above your limits.
Yeah, I slipped and I landed, and like, but that day I almost didn't put my elbow guards on. And I literally, like in everything, I was completely obliterated. All my pants and everything were ripped, but like my brand new freaking rain jacket was ripped.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the rain jacket. We were like, dude, these are so sick. And then you just like
ripped. But I think like, and that's what can happen.
I really respect that you like go out and have done that over the past year. And I know a lot of that stuff is probably because like you're at races with Cohen.
Yeah.
And I do want to compete. Like I'm still like planning to do TKO. But yeah, it's kind of hard for me to like want to do like races all the time. I guess I would have to like do it to know, but I just did it as a kid too, and I felt like it kind of like pulled some of the joy out of it in a lot of ways.
For sure. Well, I think the one thing that I would say for anybody is it's nice to do it with other people, right? You do have that camaraderie.
Going alone,
like just pulling up with your car, like that's like a really dedicated guy or girl, like that's somebody that's really committed to it. Yeah. But like if you were local, this race coming up this upcoming weekend, dude, we would go out there. It's an hour and 20 minutes. We would hang out. We would have a good day.
It'd be familiar.
It would enjoy it,
yeah,
and we would ride, and then we would talk crap about whose time was better on the way back, and that's it. Like, And as long as we make it back in one piece,
and we'd have to be in the C class just because of a mileage point of view, because like the B and A's are like, and who knows, more miles than we could put on.
You could just win C class. You know what
maybe
I mean? And be the champion.
And then they like say you can never do this.
Okay, buddy, you're going up.
Sandbaggers.
All right. Well, I know we kind of rambled on a little bit today. It was just good to get back in the flow with Nasty Nate here in the Tucson location. We are working on a lot of stuff. If you guys have any questions, concerns, comments, please leave them. I answer them every single morning, or at least the ones that are relevant. If you have something stupid to say, I'll just hide you from the channel, and you'll never
You'll never know.
You'll never know. You're just like, I keep commenting, but they're not answering. But yeah, that's it, man. Thanks for like taking time out of the day. Our phones are probably ringing, and we have stuff to do. But we will see you guys on the next one. Subscribe to the channel, do all the fun stuff, and see you.